Wow. If a picture could tell 1,000 words, guys, this story is going to be crazy, like that woman's hair. And this story is about a woman out of none other than Chicago. How many of you guys are surprised? I could do news about Chicago every day and every night as if I was, not Keith Sweat. God, I messed up the joke. Anyway, I'll be sure I messed up the joke. But anyway, this individual who looks like a troll doll was dunked in water and turned upside down and just shook her out. She looks absolutely ridiculous with that stupid look on her face. This is a mother, if you can even call her that. And just recently, she found out that she is not going to get a bond after she was charged with the stabbing death of that beautiful baby girl that y'all see on my screen right there. That is a beautiful baby girl, and I cannot understand what that little girl could have done to this mother to deserve what she got. This baby girl cannot speak for herself nor defend herself against the tyranny of her mom. And we call that babies for benefits. Excuse me. I got to get through some of these coughs. I haven't been live in a while. But the reason why we call it babies for benefits is because it seems like these type of parents who have custody of these kids don't have them for any other reason except for the things and the benefits that they can collect from these kids, whether it be food stamps, whether it be housing, whether it be control over a man by way of child support. They're always using these kids, and you can clearly tell that they don't love these kids. And that's actually a picture of her right there too. Wow. That's a night and day difference. Look like Beauty and the Beast. My goodness. Anyway, that woman has been ordered to be held without bond after she was charged with first-degree murder in the stabbing death of her 5-year-old daughter on Chicago's West Side. So if you guys are not familiar with first-degree murder, I'm going to tell you, any state that charges you with first-degree murder is not taking it lightly. And if they get you with first degree just on the charges, there's a good chance that you're probably going to go to jail for life. Okay? Now, that individual that you see right there is named Simone Austin, 27 years old. Why she look like she's about 47 years old? She was charged with first-degree murder in the death of her daughter, that beautiful baby right there by the name of Serenity Arrington, 5 years old. And I look at that baby's face and I look into her eyes and I'm like, what could this baby have done to this mom? She didn't deserve whatever she got, not at all. To meet her demise in such a jacked up way is just absolutely inexcusable. So I don't want to hear people talking about, well, she had mental issues, well, she had this, and she was going through that. If that's the case, then they shouldn't be parents at all. Matter of fact, they probably shouldn't have reproductive organs. Huh? Hashtag TTO. Yeah. I'm just saying, if they're that damn crazy, then they should not have the right to be parents. Because all it does is put these children at risk, okay? Now, a judge denied her bail at a bond hearing on Monday. Now, detectives and prosecutors said Austin cut, and I'm going to warn you, it's very graphic and straight to the point. That mother cut Serenity's throat in front of her 8-year-old sister using a serrated knife. She did this in front of one of her other kids. At Austin's bond hearing, prosecutors said Serenity's mother had asked the older girl to leave the room, and she watched through a hole in the doorknob as Austin, the mother, pulled the knife out from under a pillow and cut that 5-year-old girl's neck. The sister screamed and then saw Austin stabbing that 5-year-old girl. Those are the sisters. I got their faces blurred out. But that's a picture of all of those beautiful babies together. The sister screamed and then saw the mom stabbing that 5-year-old girl. Prosecutors say that the sister tried to pull the mom off of Serenity by her hair. I'm going to say that again. The 8-year-old daughter saw what the mom did and physically tried to stop her mom by grabbing her hair and pulling her to stop her from killing her baby sister. Her grandfather, who was also living in the same exact apartment, had gone out to get coffee at the time and came back to find that the front door was locked. When he went into the kitchen, door in the back, the daughter told him her mommy killed her little sister. Keep that child in your thoughts and prayers, because this will obviously be with her for the rest of her life, said Chicago Police Chief Detective Brendan Dennehy. Prosecutors said that the grandfather saw the mother, Austin, undressing when he got inside the apartment and immediately went out on the porch as the older sister ran outside yelling that her mom had killed her sister. That's when the mother, Austin, brought the 5-year-old girl Serenity outside and laid her down on the grass. Neighbors saw her bleeding profusely from a gash in her throat and heard the mother apologizing, saying she shouldn't have done this, prosecutors said. Hashtag not my words. She said she shouldn't have done this. That stupid ass person right there. With that sad ass look on her face. She wants y'all to feel sorry for her. How many of you guys that are listening to this story right now feel sorry for this mom? Because I'm going to tell you, it's got to be somebody out there that feels sorry for this mom. Because every time I do these stories, there's always somebody who is in my comment section who emails me and tries to tell me that I was wrong for talking crap about those criminals and disparaging how they look and their physical appearance. There's always somebody in my email that is telling me that I'm wrong for talking crazy about the criminals. All in while, I always point out to them this very first thing. In their email, they didn't mention anything about the kids that were involved and the kids that died in those stories and were murdered by those same exact people that they're telling me not to talk crazy about. How many of y'all feel sorry for her? Where is the protest for this little girl? Why is there no national outrage for this little girl? At what point is this going to stop? And you know what? We have so many options for these mothers, these fathers, these step parents. If you don't want to be parents, you don't have to be a parent. Nobody's forcing anybody to be a parent. Matter of fact, as men and as women, as Americans, as adults, nobody is forcing us to have sex. Nobody is forcing us to procreate. Why are we doing this to children? Why are we dragging innocent children into these situations? Why did we drag this little girl into this situation that she didn't want to be in, knowing the fact that she lives in Chicago where there's already a high level of violence? There is a high propensity that those kids and the mom and the grandfather could have been shot randomly just living in Chicago. Let alone that the mom felt that she wanted to take her frustration and her anger out on that beautiful baby girl, and why? There is no excuse for it. And I don't ever want to hear an excuse for it. She took this dead baby's body out and laid her in the grass. So, of course, somebody called 911 and paramedics rushed that 5-year-old girl to Stroger Hospital of Cook County, where she was later pronounced dead from multiple stab wounds. Prosecutors said that one of the wounds to her throat went almost completely through the back of her neck. That's not remorse. That is hate. That is not a moment of insanity. That is evil. And evil should be punished. Evil should be purged from this world. It should be purged from our society and our neighborhoods. The knife went completely through the back of this little girl's neck. The Illinois Department of Children and Family Services, DCFS, has been called to this home in the past, but the details were not immediately released. I'm going to read that again. The Illinois DCFS Department of Children and Family Services has been to this home before, but they didn't give us any details. We've had previous calls there for domestic violence where the mother was the victim of domestic violence and other people in the family called, Chicago Police Superintendent David Brown said on Monday. Superintendent Brown said Chicago Police will send us more information about domestic violence related calls, but as of late Monday, they have not received the information that they requested. Now, prosecutors said that Serenity's older sister told investigators about a previous incident when she was walking around with a knife because the little girls had spilled some eggs on the porch. Can we get a hashtag, when you date thugs, you date death? Anybody want to post that in the chat? And I'm going to tell you why I want you guys to post that in the chat. Here's why. The mom wants us to feel bad talking about that she suffered some domestic violence. Well, here's the thing. If the dude was being violent towards you, knowing the fact that he lives in Chicago, and just knowing the fact that a lot of those thugs in Chicago do a lot of wild shit, not only to their women, but to each other, then one would have to assume that this mother probably had all 3 of those kids by some thugs or thugs, which is why they were being violent towards her. Excuse me, I'm going to get through these coughs here in a moment. I'm sorry about that. Now, I'm going to read this part again. The older sister told investigators about a previous incident when the mother was walking around with a knife because the little girls had spilled some eggs on the porch. So if this were a previous incident, while we're talking about DCFS, and this is documented, this is on record, then this is now another baby, another life, more blood that is on the hands of Children and Family Services for failing another child. Because if they told you this and you guys didn't take this threat seriously, well, it looks like the mom finally did what it was that she wanted to do anyway. She soaked up all the benefits that she could get out of this kid and decided to try to end this baby's life. Over eggs. Are you kidding me? Over eggs. Everybody wants to know why she stabbed this little girl. Can y'all post in the chat? It was over eggs. If anybody asks, why did the mom stab this kid? Say it was over eggs. Yes, eggs. Okay, thank you, Mom. I just got that. I just got your message. Thank you, Mom. I'll check it here in just a moment. It's just sad. Just out of nowhere, it said neighbor Jose Behar. I just saw her yesterday, and today in the morning, she's gone. The mother does not have a prior criminal background, officials said, and her defense attorney said that she dropped out of high school and her parents were living on the street. She worked at Walmart until May of 2020, where she stocked shelves. There is no indication that she has ever harmed her children before. Neighbors said that they saw Serenity just the other day, and now they can't believe she's gone. They described her as a happy baby and a friendly baby. It's not clear what led to the stabbing, but I just told you guys, over eggs, over some eggs. Or you can post over some damn eggs, whatever you want to post. It was over eggs. It was not clear what led up to the stabbing, but Austin walked up to officers and was taken into custody at the scene. Detectives earlier said that they were investigating to see if Austin had a history of mental illness. Detectives are looking into that, so they're touching base with that and DCFS and everything else, said News Affair Officer Jose Jera. Austin invoked her right to remain silent once police arrived, so specific explanations about a motive have not been released. Meanwhile, a representative of the Maryville Crisis Nursery spoke alongside police Monday to talk about a free short-term care for parents in distress and experiencing a crisis. The Maryville representative talked about how since reopening to phase 3 amid the coronavirus pandemic in the city, their crisis nursery has seen an increase in the number of calls. The crisis nursery is urging parents who are feeling stressed to get help with what they need help with. Now, the mother's next court hearing is set for October the 19th, which is coming up. Let me go ahead and give you guys the fair usage. We're going to talk about that screenshot here in a moment. Y'all can read that. That's from the mom's Facebook page. On May the 7th, it says, "I'm bad," with the devil emoji face. We'll get back to that here in a moment. Let's give you guys the fair usage. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Good morning. Now, we're hearing from family that this actually took place in a relative's home, and police have released this mugshot. Take a look. This is the suspect. Police told us 27-year-old Simone Austin was placed in handcuffs around 9:30 Saturday morning. Police said Austin stabbed her 5-year-old daughter, Serenity Arrington, in the throat. It happened inside the little girl's grandfather's home on the 3200 block of West Fulton Boulevard. Police told us they arrived on the scene and found the child stabbed multiple times. The child was taken to a local hospital where she was pronounced deceased. Now, Simone Austin was charged with first-degree murder with no specifics as to why this stabbing happened. Police said they were familiar with the home where the crime took place. Here's what police had to say about their investigation so far.
There were prior calls to the address. We just don't know at this time what happened today, but there were multiple calls in the past.
Oh, beautiful. Like all the other grandkids out here are beautiful. Love school, love looking at movies with her granddaddy.
Now, Simone Austin is still in police custody. Her bond hearing is set for later this morning, and of course we'll keep you up to date when we receive those details of what happened inside the courtroom. But for now, we're live outside the Cook County Courthouse. I'm Glenn Marshall, WGN News.
I want you guys to also notice how neighbors and other people would still come out and say even after they heard what this woman did, even after some of them saw the aftermath of what she did to this little girl, even after that, they still came out and said that this woman was usually a good mother. Y'all hear this? They still come out and defend her and say that she's usually a good mother. And that to me is one of the main problems, is that we don't hold people accountable for doing wrong and hurting these kids. Everybody's number one focus should have been this kid. Screw this mom at this point. If they say, hey, she stabbed this kid, this little kid had a knife that went all the way through the back of her neck, and the mom did it, and they have proof, they have evidence, then we got to roll with that and say, you know what? We're not going to even talk about the mom anymore. We're just going to put all of our focus on this baby. Why they continue to go back and deflect and talk about how what she used to do, she shoulda, coulda, woulda, and all that bull crap, and disrespecting the memory of this little girl, the name of this little girl. And I want to put some respect on this baby's name again. This is baby Serenity Arrington, who was 5 years old. She cannot speak for herself, nor can she defend herself. But what's even crazier is if her 8-year-old sister were a little bit older and a little bit stronger, her older sister was going to fight to save her life from her own mom. And I really wish that something would have made it to where, I don't know, that would have prevented this. This woman right here clearly wanted this baby to die. She's an evil person. She's a horrible mother. She's never been a good mother for having these kids for only the benefits that she could collect from these kids. And continue to keep putting these kids in poverty and bad situations. As a matter of fact, let me show you guys this screenshot one more time, just to let y'all know that this person that y'all see right here, who looks like a freaking chocolate troll doll, yes. I'm gonna show y'all something. I call her evil, and she calls herself evil. Look at this screenshot right here. So for people who saying that I don't have my information right, well, what about the fact that when these evil ass, stupid ass, demonized creatures, when these demons call themselves bad, then how are you going to dispute that? How are you going to tell me that I'm wrong for how I describe them? Right? On May the 7th, that mother wrote on her own page and said, I'm bad, with that devil emoji. And matter of fact, shout out to the person in the chat, or not in the chat, but in the comment section right there. And Jennifer said, you are going straight to hell. God doesn't like murderers. Rest in heaven to that beautiful little soul. And I'll tell you guys this. That mother doesn't need jail. She doesn't need reform. She doesn't need counseling. She has an appointment with the devil, with the real Satan. She don't need jail. She needs hell. Don't send her to jail. Send her to hell. That's our hashtag here at the AFC. That's what I believe will get ultimate victory for this little girl. And I also want to put a prayer hands up in the chat. And I'm thankful that she didn't harm the other babies. I'm thankful that they'll at least get an opportunity to grow up and become something great. But I also want to give a special love shout out to the 8-year-old girl who tried to grab her mom by the hair and pull this mom off of killing the 5-year-old little girl. As you can see, it looked like she tried to pull all her hair out of her head, which is why she looked like that. But that little 8-year-old girl is going to be traumatized forever. But I want to give her a huge love shout out. And I'm thankful that her heart was in the right place, but she was a baby. It wasn't her place to be able to try to defend her baby sister, but she did all she could because she loved her sisters, and those babies loved each other, and they all deserve to grow up and become something great. So I want to say, you know, rest in heaven, young princess, 5-year-old Serenity Arrington. Rest in heaven, young princess.